May pips be upon you. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. I hope your weekend is as sunny and bright as mine is. I hope your last week of trading was outstanding. I really do. And I hope I helped with that. If I did, make sure you leave a like and a comment. If I didn't, never mind. So moving right along, I tell you what we're going to do. Today, I'm going to start with the news that's coming next week, and then we'll go right into Dixie. But what I want to make sure you understand with these videos is I'm not giving you entries and exits. I'm giving you my bias, and I'm hoping that it works with your strategies. Or if you're learning mine, it becomes your own, okay? And you want to make sure you what your bias is, the direction of the markets, so that you can plan your entries and exits accordingly, right? And I'm hoping that I'm helping in that way. Okay, next week, what do we want to make sure we want to be careful of? Interest rate decisions. Why? Because they can turn a trend around. Whether you are day trading, especially if you're scalping, you want to be careful of news events that could cause the market to even have a temporary spike, or drop or something. It could ruin your day. But if you're swing trading, you want to make sure the bigger news like NFP and CPI for USD, that kind of stuff can mess your day up, man. When we're talking when we're talking news, that's what we're looking for. And come Wednesday, Aussie and CAD. Aussie has CPI data coming out. All right, this is going to move that market for sure. And you might see, as the Aussie is kind of like one of the stronger ones as of last week and this week coming, it's one of the stronger pairs. And you want to make sure that if you're in a trade, that you're in the right direction, and you don't want to get caught out there with a turn. You know what I mean? Even if it's a temporary one, especially if you're day trade. But CAD has the big one, interest rates. What you might see leading up to the interest rate decisions with countries is a lot of sideways action until the news item comes out, till that news announcement come out. So a lot of times, like you see with the CAD right now, you'll see a sell-off. People are taking profits. All right, big banks, institutions are taking profits, and they're preparing, for a possible shift in the trend, or the momentum of the market. So be careful for Wednesday. And then on Thursday, another one for JPY. The yen has an interest rate decision. All right, make sure that if you're in shorts in JPY, because it's been one of the weaker ones the last several days, you want to make sure that up until the news announcement, that you're prepared for it to go the other way. You're prepared for that trend to change, because people are going to take profits. All right, even on short, you're going to see that price start to tick up. You know what I mean? And you don't want to get caught suddenly with that. Be prepared, be forewarned. And on Friday, you have a GDP for the European Union. All right, and that's a market mover itself. So those news items, that especially the later ones, it doesn't, you got to be careful during the week up until that news item, especially with the CAD, because the CAD is affected by oil and all of that. So I would be very wary of trading CAD pairs up until this announcement. Like I said, wary, you know what I mean? Just be very careful, maybe use a smaller position size, or avoid it. All right, Aussie, yen, those pairs you can trade. I believe you can still trade up until that time. Anyway, All right, let's move off of that and let's get to Dixie, right? Now, you know, we usually start out on the monthly so we can get a full breakdown. All right, see what I got here? I want to make sure that you can see it. All right, take a screenshot of it or whatever. I just have a few little notes here that I'm going to go over. And if I can get to that. All right. Now, what do we see here in this market? All right. We see that price dropped, right? Like a lower low, lower high, lower low. All right. And what are we seeing down here? Where we have this low, the price didn't go past that low. That is a higher low then. All right. This low is higher than this one. All right. And we just have to mark those things because that indicates price may want to go back up, you know, may want to, it can't go any lower. Got it? And then you see a bullish engulfer at this level as well. These are kind of things that make you think, hey, price might be going bullish on me. Okay. And where is my notes? All right, so I'm going to fill in some things. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. All right. So what am I filling in here? I have the the previous weekly, previous monthly highs and lows, because again, those are places where price will there'll be stop orders and pending orders. Liquidity is what I'm talking about. And when price makes its way down, you're thinking, okay, it's probably going to want to hit target that previous weekly low because there's liquidity there. There's people with stop orders and who took longs, and people who have pending orders for shorts, for breakout traders. And what market makers will do is come down there and trigger them both, trigger the stop orders and trigger those longs, and go the shorts and go the opposite way, taking out the stop orders for those who had shorts as well. Just a double dip of devastation. All right, so what do I have here? I have a break of structure. You always ask yourself when you're looking at the markets, where is the last break of structure? Well, the last break of structure is to the upside. All right, you see it happen here after it broke this high. All right, and price continued higher, and we see that we're in a pullback. All right, we're in a retracement. So what are we going to say with this? What is the intent of price? What is the target? Price is likely, after making a higher high, is likely to make a higher low. So what we have to do is figure out where is the most likely places that it will make the higher low at. Well, understand something. Price could come all the way back down here, and as long as it doesn't break this low, we are still bullish. All right, and price could turn all the way around there. Sure. All right, just bear that in mind. This is our trading range. All right, and until price breaks the range to the upside or breaks the range to the downside, that's when we get concerned about if there was a shift in momentum from bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish. All right, if it breaks this low, then we know that price is shifting bearish. But so far, we have a break of structure to the upside. So we are bullish. We are bullish. After being bearish, we are now bullish, and price will likely look for an order block to turn on. This is the one I'm looking at first, this monthly order block here, because it is before the break of structure, and it had a very nice impulse. When price left, it was pretty strong. All right. If price breaks through this monthly order block here, there is the origin of this movement. This is the origin here, this order block, and this is the big one. And I'm pretty sure once price gets down here, if it wants to make the higher low, this will be the last place that I think it can get to before you know, where it would decide to make that higher low. But I'm looking here first. Got it? All right. That's at 92,500. Let's go to the weekly. I went way too deep with that. All right. Spent too much time. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to take off all of these if I can. Boom, 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 boom. What did I just do? All right, that's dang. How did this one get down here? Anyway, so what are we seeing here? What do we have on the weekly? Well, price made this turn here. And we want to take a good look at this impulse. The impulse is to the upside. We broke structure here. All right. Broke structure here. We have this nice impulse to the upside here. That's what we want to make sure we register. So price will come back down to as a return to impulse. And I'm looking at this order block right there as the impulsing order block so that price could make the higher low here and continue higher. All right. This was the last break of structure. It's to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at. That's how that one breaks down. Now I got a whole lot of nice little notes on it. If you want to take a screenshot of it, that's fine. All right. Just want you to see that there's an imbalance overhead for price to come back and balance out, fill in that fair value gap, as some people call imbalances. All right. And I just want you to see that when you see these circles, these are structural points. This is the high. And once we break that high, that was a break of structure. All right. And I believe that price there's another imbalance here. I believe that price will come down and tap that imbalance before going up. Okay. And we're going to the daily. I'm not sure where my dailies are. I had a whole bunch of other stuff, whole bunch of other notes. I went to town on this thing for some reason. All right, so here's all the dailies. All right, we're going to take a close look at this daily because we have to. All right, because we're going to be thorough. All right, what do we got on the daily? Just like I mentioned before, we had this break of structure here on the weekly. That doesn't mean that's the last break of structure on the daily. All right. Sometimes you can have the monthly and the weekly, one saying it's bearish, one saying it's bullish, the other one saying it's bearish. All right. I'm trying to give you the keys on how to get through that, how to process that information. The higher time frames dictate what the lower time frames are doing and give the lower time frames the target. What is the intent of price? The intent of the lower time frames is to fill the target, to fill the intent, fulfill the intent of the higher time frame. So that is to say, the monthly is looking to make a higher low to then follow with a higher high. All right. So is the weekly. Here, where's the last break of structure? The last break of structure is to the downside. That makes this bearish. All right. Now, yeah, this looks like a bullish kind of bullish structure, right? But bear in mind, we have structural highs over here that were broken. All right. We are in this bearish order block right here. I haven't drawn it out because I want you to see that price maybe transitioning with a left shoulder ahead, and maybe we might be forming the right shoulder. Why would it be forming the right shoulder when we want to make a lower high? Because it has to go up before it goes down. That's why. And there's a bearish order block up here that I believe price wants to come and get. Simple as that. Let me see something. Where is this? Why isn't this order block not lit up over here? I don't know. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom here. All right, this is a daily order block here. All right, and I have it to the bottom of the wick. All right, because we don't know if price is going to come all the way up here, or it might turn. It might turn here. See how it was tested here? It might turn around here. So I'm looking for price to return up here and give me a reversal. All right, give me indications that it wants to transition from bullish to bearish momentum. All right, and you'll see that on the lower time frames, like 15-minute and then 5-minute. All right, you'll see the what prices if price is transitioning. All right, and but on the higher time frames, this is what on the higher time frames, this is what you're going to be looking for on the lower time frames, because structure is structure. When price transitions, makes a higher high, a higher high, makes a high and a higher high, and then a lower high. That is a head and shoulders. All right, and you can see that on every time frame. So that's what you want to look for when you see price is when you're hoping that price will transition once it reaches your POI, and this is the POI, this daily order block here. All right, it'll be a couple of days before it gets up there for sure. All right, but remember what the economic calendar is saying. Okay, let me get this thing right. All right, remember what the economic calendar is saying. I'm telling you, Wednesday is going to be a pivotal day, especially for the CAD. All right, and when we're talking about the CAD, we're talking about the CAD against the USD. Got it? All right, USD is weak. CAD is one of the stronger ones. All right, so anyway, we'll get to USCAD. All right, so I'm looking for price to come up here, give us a transition, and continue down to make the higher time frame lower high, and I would have it coming all the way down to here. If price makes it past this bullish order block, if it eats past that, then we'll be right on schedule. But because things might get a little hairy a little bit later, as we might see initial strength by the Dixie or USD. Just remember, this scenario calls for weakness in the dollar, and I don't think it's going to turn strong that quick, which means it probably will eat through this order block. I don't think this order block is going to last. I like this one as a return to impulse kind of situation because of the way price left here, and this trend line that price has formed. It seems to respect this horizontal line of support, and when it coincides with an order block, we have some confluence. So I'm looking here for price to maybe turn around, but I will look here first. That's why I have this blocked out. See how it respected it here? All right, we're going to see if price comes up and then comes back down. All right, this is what I'm looking for right here. All right, I hope that helps. All right, so let's go on to the other pairs. We're going to Euro USD first. All right, what am I looking for? All right, I'm gonna look on the monthly, and we're gonna do the exact opposite of what we were looking for on the USD. All right, we see price breaking higher past these highs, right, and making a higher low. Always make sure you catch those little things. Are we making a higher low? Are we making a lower high? You'll always want to keep the structure first and foremost in your mind, especially on the higher time frames. All right, so we made a higher low. All right, price did not make a higher high though. All right, so that's something to bear in mind. All right, could we still make break that high? Of course we could. All right, but look at what price did on this monthly. Can you see that price may have transitioned here? All right, and we have an order block here, right? If price on the Euro USD is going to continue lower, all right, now again, Euro and USD, they're pretty weak. They're about as equally weak as each other. So this isn't the pair that I'm in love with this week. All right. But what I want to notice is, where's the breaker structure? The breaker structure is to the downside on the monthly. See it right there? Matter of fact, can I get it quickly? Yes, I can. All right, let me get those out of there. Oh, no, I better not do that. Let me get this way. Okay. All right. We can do it this way. Boom, 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 boom. Right. We have the transition, right? We have buy side liquidity for price to go up and get. But what I see is this structure. Higher, this high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low. All right, that means price looks bearish. We have a breaker structure. We have an imbalance just below it. Price can go down and fill it in. I'm looking for price to come up and then go back down. That's what I'm looking for. All right, I'm looking for Euro. I'm looking for Euro to gain a little strength heading up. Don't be so much concerned with this leg here. All right, because we're at the previous monthly low right now. This is the previous monthly low, and we're coming up. So there's reason for price to come to gain strength next week. Now, if I can get rid of this, it's just as fast as I put it there. We're going to the we're going to the daily. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. Okay. Why is that? Okay. All right. So we're on the daily. All right. So we understand what the higher time frame is looking for, maybe some upside, and that's going to take some time, right? And we are at a previous monthly low already, and price is already showing the strength that I'm talking about now. All right. Now, what could happen come Sunday on the open? I'm gonna tell you what can happen. Price could find a little weakness, maybe come down to test its own low. This is what am I doing on a weekly? I need to get on the daily. All right, price could come down here, come down and test this doggone bullish order block that it's created on the daily. All right, come down and test that, and then go up to the daily overhead. This is going to take a couple of days. So during that time, just be careful, because this is Euro USD. They're both very weak, there are other markets to take other than this one. This kind of action, you don't really want to mess around with. The last break of structure on the daily is to the upside, right? So I'm looking for price to return to impulse, the original order block, and then continue higher, making the higher low and to make the higher high. Getting past this high anyway. But what this really is a larger return to impulse on the higher time frame, because price broke down to the downside, a return to impulse, and then a lower low. This is the intent of the higher time frames. The smaller time frames, the daily, the H4, they're going to work within that framework. Got it? So when you look at the last break of structure, as you go further down the line of time frames, just understand there's a bigger picture involved. And you can look at this picture and say, okay, this is a bearish market. All right. If it comes down here, it's going to make a lower high. It's going to make a lower high. And then after a lower high, you expect a lower low. All right. But in the meantime, there's a break of structure. There's a break of structure here. You expect to return to impulse. And then it goes and fulfills that higher time frame because it has its own intent. Every time frame has its own intent. All right. Sometimes that's aligned with the higher time frame. Sometimes it's not. They have to hit their target before that other target can be hit. The higher time frame target, which is the more important one. You understand? That's the route it takes to get there. Got it? Good. All right. So we understand what we're doing with the Euro USD. Little weakness, little strength, and then ultimately back to weakness. It's one of the weaker currencies. All right. And there are trades, day trades and scalpers and stuff for this move, but the swing trade, this is the one you want to take. This is the short. This is the short you want to take. All right, you understand? Day trade here, day trade there, swing trade, down, boom. All right, what's next? Let's go to pound USD. Pound USD. Now, what do we got with pound USD? Let's do it from this page. What is this? I don't even know what that is. All right. So with pound, what do we have? I need a path here. Oh, look at that. All right. Let me see something here. We're going to get rid of all of this. Yeah, I took some notes. Took a few. All right. Let's go to the daily. And here's the path. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And I'm thinking we have a lower low to make. All right. Look at the structure. Look at the structure of this. All right. That's how you want to see this, the bigger picture. People sometimes wonder, how come I take this trade on the 15-minute and it goes exactly opposite of where I thought price was going? It's because there's a higher time frame plan. The higher time frames give the smaller time frames the target. Keep that in mind. Always refer to the higher time frames first. Okay. We have a daily order block here. All right. Prices done what? Where's the break of structure? Where's the break of structure? I'm gonna tell you in a minute. Hold on a second. If I can just work this for a second, I'm gonna hook you up. All right. You see that there's a weekly order block there that, you know, it's not the weekly order block. We understand this is our POI. Once we hit the POI, it's not necessary anymore. We can concentrate on this daily. We're looking for price to transition once it reached the POI, because we know on the higher time frames, price is making lower lows, lower highs. None of this. These two doesn't matter, because this is your range. This lower low, this lower high. If it doesn't break these two, all this action doesn't mean that short-term highs, swing highs and swing lows. All right. This one mattered because it broke your trend line. I mean, it broke your trading range to the downside. This one matters. This tells us that price is going to continue in the bearish momentum and the bearish trend. All right. Lower low, lower high. Once we make the lower high, you expect the lower low to be made. Once price reaches your POI, you just look for that transition. Let's go to the 4-hour. I want to show you something on that 4-hour. If I can get to it, doing all this clicking and stuff. What's wrong with me? All this clicking. All right. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then price looks like it wants to transition. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for on the 4-hour, right? Because we know that on the daily, we are in our POI. This is a daily supply. This is daily supply here. And we see a high, a higher high, a lower high. We see that head and shoulders. We see that transition from bullish to bearish. So what are we looking for? We're looking for price come next week. Maybe, if I can just get to it. We look for the break of structure. All right. We see that we have a 2-candle pullback here. All right. And then we break it. This is our break here of that structure to the downside. Right. And we see that we have broken short-term lows, multiple ones. We broke this significant low here. All right. This significant structure point. And we took the liquidity. Price is looking, as far as my eye will tell me, to return to impulse, which is this is my this is a potential place that price will find that that order block to make sure it turns around. And this is the right shoulder. All right, I'm looking for him to test that right shoulder and come on back down and continue lower. All right, because that's what price wants to do. A lower high, establish a lower high, and after a lower high, the only thing to expect is a lower low. Got it? I hope that's a pretty easy concept to get, because that's where it's going. This one's pretty simple. All right, if price turns around in the middle of things and starts heading up, then we have a break of structure to the upside, and then we'll be looking for a return to impulse wherever price came from. So you just have to stay nimble. That's all. But the higher time frame structure, that's what you're going to follow. Lower low, lower high. This is a daily. Lower low, lower high. You expect the lower low to be made. Simple. Okay. And again, I want to also stress those you see the efficient move of price. It comes up, comes down. It doesn't leave a blank space. All right. There's one here. Here, this is an inefficient move of price. And this is where the imbalances come from. And what price likes to do is come back and mitigate those imbalances. It likes to come back like there was an imbalance here, right? Price came back, took it out on that level. Look at this big imbalance here. All right, that's an inefficient move of price. It's all sells. It comes back up, mitigates it. Got it? So it'll mitigate. It'll come back for this. That's why there's a strong likelihood that it'll go down. All right, let's go to the next pair. We understand what we're doing with GU. All right, I got a big arrow up there, so don't tell me you don't know what to do. Okay, swing traders, you want to look for that pullback. You want to look for that pullback. All right. Day traders, you can take this long up to that order block. Let me see something here so you can see it clearly. Yeah, price is likely to pull back for sure, and this will make a great long if you're a day trader. That's you got about 50 pips to get, depending on where you get in. All right, but if you get in on the lower time frames, there's a lot of percentages. There's some good percentage you can get from here. You can get a 5 to 10. You can get a 1 to 10 between here and there, or 1 to 10 risk to reward trade. You understand what I mean? All right, that's what I mean. The number of pips does not matter. If I can get 1 to 10 out of 5 pips, I'm going for it. You understand? It's all about where you put that stop loss, where you have your invalidation points, all of that good stuff. Next, did I do G pound yen? Yeah, I did. All right. let's go to the daily. And what do you see? What I want you to see is, where is the doggone break of structure? All right. You see that price broke the structural point here. This is very similar to GU, similar, but not the same. All right. Just understand that yen is strong. I mean, yen is one of the weaker pairs. Pound is right like neutral. You see how it's been traveling the last few weeks, huh? Kind of, rangy, sidewaysy. It's kind of neutral, but yen is weak. So that's something to be aware of. Look at this bullish move on the weekly. This very bullish impulse to the top side, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then it breaks that high. All right, so the last break of structure is to the upside. We're looking for price to return to impulse after a break of structure, right? That's why we'll go to the daily right now. Where do I expect that return to impulse? It's already started. Okay, it's already started. I have the arrows here. See, why do I have the Fibonacci here? Because I want you to see 50% of the move. When you have an impulse, you measure that impulse, especially at a break of structure. You measure the impulse. You don't want to take wait for the pullback and take a trade within the 50% of that pullback. All right, that's what retailers do. You don't want this retail space. This is premium price. You're paying too much. All right, you wait till you get to discount pricing, past the 50%. When it gets to the 61, the 70, the 78, even if it came all the way down here to the 90s, all right, it's still bullish until it breaks that low. Up until that point, this is where you want to take your price. All right, that's why I have these arrows here, because this is where I believe price will return to the impulse. Here's the order block, right? Let me get that a little darker. All right, here's your order block here, and it's a daily, and I'm thinking that price will probably either come down here as a long shot, but I have imbalance here. Got an imbalance sitting right here, and price sometimes, as soon as it hits the imbalance, it turns right around. All right, but when there's an imbalance near an order block, is good reason to think that price is going to take care of both of them at that point. So I'm looking at both these areas. I'm looking for price to transition on a lower time frame to see if price will transition from bearish to bullish, and I can take the trade there, take a good entry there. All right, but just remember that yen is very weak. Yen is weak compared to the neutral strength of GBP, and that's why I believe the price will continue higher as opposed to breaking these lows and coming down lower to catch this impulse. If it breaks lower, then we'll know it. We'll know it, and we'll make an adjustment for it. And of course, I'll send you updates. Why do I got the screen moving and driving you crazy? All right, Aussie USD. What do we have? What I want you to notice, this low is not as low as that one. This is a higher low. Again, where's the break of structure? Right here. We made a higher low. We made a higher high, breaking structure to the upside. Again, I'm looking for price to return to impulse. All right, and where are my candidates for the impulse? This one, it's before the break of structure, and it has a nice impulse to the upside. This one is where I will look for price to transition from bearish to bullish first. All right, this is where I would look first. All right, if it does make it through there, then I'm looking down here at this this three-day order block. Let me show you why. All right, because this bullish engulfing candle, and this the strength of the impulse from here, you can easily determine that this is the origin. But do I think price is going to make it all the way down there? That's a bit of a, I'm thinking that's a bit of a stretch. That's why I'm looking here first. I'm looking here, all right, and understand that Aussie against the dollar. this is Aussie against the dollar. The Aussie is strong. USD is relatively weak. That's why I'm thinking price will end up making a higher high after making a higher low. We're going to make that higher low. Where's that higher low going to be made is the question. Is it going to come down as much as this one did? You see how after making this low, it came down this low? Then you would think that, you know, one would start to think maybe we're coming down, you know, coming back down here, you know, but that's a really long stretch. All right. And you have Aussie news coming on Wednesday, the CPI data, all right, which could strengthen things even more. So this might be a Wednesday situation over here. So we're going to watch this real closely. But if it turns bearish, I'm thinking it's going to turn back bullish. If it makes it down to this level, I'm thinking it's going to turn back bullish once we meet these confluences here. Does that make sense? All right. Right now, I'm thinking, let's see what it does once it gets to this this daily order block here. We'll see if price transitions from bullish to bearish, and let's make some money. All right. Next, USD CAD. This is the one I would tell you, you know, with CAD pairs, again, Wednesday, they're going to have that interest rate thing, and that everything could turn topsy-turvy. All right. I'm letting you know that. I'm letting you know that because that's what the news says, not what I say. All right. Let's look at the monthly. All right. Real quick. All right. Where is the break of structure? You can see this bearish impulse breaking down to the downside, right? I mean, that's pretty doggone obvious, right? And if we hook them up like this, we can see price had a significant break there, and even more another one there. We broke all these lows. All right, price is really deep inside of this monthly order block. Does it look like it's wanting to come out of there? Not really, because the CAD is stronger than the USD, and I'm thinking that's going to continue. Okay, you see all these exhaustion candles, wick rejections to the top side. This is why I'm thinking that, you know, prices are just going to continue lower. We had a bearish break of structure to the downside. Price return. Oh, got it. Sorry. Price return to try to return to the impulsing order block that sent price this way, and it looks like it didn't quite make it. But if we, you know, we just know that if it didn't make it, there's a chance that it could go higher to touch, right? But look at what the price did. It transitioned, man. It gave us the sign. It gave us the sign, man. You can't beat that head and shoulders, man. What? Okay. Yeah. So you can't beat the head and shoulders. So price rounded over, breaking this structure here. All right. Boom. Making a lower high, breaking that low, breaking these higher lows here, right? And what am I expecting? Well, if we go down to the, let me get rid of that first. All right. If we go down to the daily, we can see how bearish prices turned. It starts to get really, do I have any notes on this? Yes, I do. Okay, maybe I did. I just turned them off. Okay, see, I'm losing it, man. Anyway, yeah, that was all the notes I had. So I'm thinking price is going to continue lower, and after a return to impulse, we haven't had the return to impulse yet. So where am I looking? We already know we're in this this larger order block here. Okay, so that we understand we're deep in that already. We see price came all the way down, didn't give us a V formation, didn't give us a cup and handle. All right, but it did give us this seemingly a transition. And on a smaller time frame, the daily, we see it happen even on the right shoulder. You understand? So we have these breaks to the low side. So we're looking for a return to impulse. And this looks like the order block, that impulse price to the downside. You can see this is a very nice and a very aggressive, a pretty aggressive anyway, impulse. So I'm looking for price to come up here. You're driving me crazy with this. Looking for price to come up there and give us that impulse. Now, I like to look at these 2 candle pullbacks, sometimes 3 candles, as an order block, because price is a range. It's not just a bearish engulfer or a bullish engulfer. It's a range of price where it finds equilibrium and then breaks out. All right, that's the order block. Orders, man, it's orders. All right, and I'm looking for price when it breaches that first block. That's when I start looking. This is my POI on the daily. I'm going to mark it here. All right, and that's where I start looking for price to give me transition indications, whether it's going to transition or whether it's going to pass on through. I'll look on the lower time frames, look at the 1 hour, look at the 15, and look at the 5, and see if price is going to give me exactly this, the head and shoulders right here on a smaller time frame. Because structure is structure. Price reverses, price transitions the exact same way on every time frame. I can't repeat that enough. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to give me the transition here. I believe we're going to have a return to impulse, and then price will drop. All right, this is USDCAD. Let's move on to the next one. I don't know how much time we just spent on that, but I had fun doing it. All right, I got notes, apparently. Hope you don't mind. Take a screenshot if you like. All right. NZDUSD. What do I see? Let me take a look on the weekly. Did I have more notes in this? I sure did. God, dog, I did a whole bunch of research on this one. What I want to see is, because I don't need to take you through all of that. What I want to see is, what is the structure looking like? Is it bearish or is it bullish? What would you, if you're looking at this, what would you call that? Bullish or bearish? I'll wait. Bearish, right? All right, because it's making lower lows. Look at the lower high. Look at the lower low. Yeah, all of this is happening, but we're talking about the major structural points. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This high is not as high as that one. What does that indicate? After making a lower low and a lower high, you're looking for price to make a lower low next, right? Easy. All right, let's go down to the daily. All right, we don't have to spend much time on that. So we are in a POI. Matter of fact, actually we do. All right, we're in the POI. All right, because we expect price is at a lower high and we expect it to make a lower low. That will be the target. But has the weekly accomplished what it wanted to do first before it does what it needs to do on the daily? This is a pivotal time frame, because we're looking here, higher lows, right? And then we had a break here. It looks like it's just a liquidity grab because we didn't get a close above there. It looks like it's just a liquidity grab, and we may see some weakness come back to this market and then continue higher. Now, why do I think it's going to continue higher? Because this is NZD against USD. What did I say about USD? USD is one of the weaker currencies, and NZD happens to be at the top of the list. It's one of the strongest. All right, so I'm expecting more bullish action for the New Zealand dollar. All right, until new news comes in. All right, we see that there, after it made this snatch of this liquidity, that the intent of price is to go higher. All right, it made a higher low. It broke that high. It broke that this high point, making a higher high. It looks like it might just be a liquidity grab, and it could turn all the way around and come all the way back down. We're gonna see. You see why I have the fibs out, right? From the low start of the impulse to the end of the impulse. We don't want anything above 50, but in this case, because NZD is so much stronger than the USD, all right, it may look at this trend line. Look at the highs hitting that trend line. This is what makes me think price may come just below the 50, technically below that 50, then turn around. So I'm going to be looking, I'm going to have my eye here. Well, I'm going to keep my eye on this Modi Jody. That's right, I said Modi Jody. I'm going to keep my eye on this Modi Jody at this level. Now, if it comes back further, that's where we want it, because this is discount pricing. We're looking for discount pricing down here. Man, I didn't mean to do that. Come on, man. Why is my thing tripping? Okay, so I'm looking for price. This is you want your price down here, right? You wanted to find this impulse where the order block is here. All right, and that would be a great return to impulse, because it'll give us a great price. I'm just keeping my eye on this 50% area, because I think it might just dip just below that and then come on up. Let's go to the daily. All right, we can see that a little bit more clearly here. And you see how the impulse is. All right, I'm hoping that price comes right back down to this area here. All right, now I have, what is that? Hold on. I have an order block here. I'm trying to remember what in the world, maybe. Yeah, there's a daily order block. I'm sorry. There's a daily order block here, all right, where price tapped into it, and you see how price left the area. This might be where price finds itself returning to impulse. All right, this is a long stretch though, and I don't know if price is going to make that whole trip. That would make for a very weak NZD and a very strong USD for a few days, and I don't think that's going to happen. That's why I'm thinking it may take that short trip here for a couple of days, like Wednesday, and then things turn around. You understand? You understand my logic? All right, I do think it'll go higher. Just when it decides to turn from bearish to bullish, that's the question. Now, could it continue from here? It certainly could. All right, but we'll be expecting some kind of pullback at some point. All right, and you know, if it you know, we're just going to stay loose. If it does seek these highs, does play those highs, and then comes down, it may find itself doing the break and retest here. But we'll adjust to it if that scenario presents itself, okay? But right now, I believe a return to impulse is in order. And I'm looking at this pullback here where this last bearish move before the bullish move starts. I'm thinking this is a better situation. This is the closest situation right here. This is where I would start to look for transition if price makes it past that 50%. Got it? NZDU. All right, this would be your swing trade, where it decides to transition here or here. That would be a great swing trade. If you're going to day trade, you can take it down, take your shorts down to those areas, you know. And that's exactly what I'll be doing. Anyway, let's move on. I think we got one more. Is that the last one? NZD. Yeah. No, I think I did one more. Did I do that to myself? Yeah, I did. This is different. This is different. All right, I'll do the rest in a different video. Okay, I'll do the rest in the, in separate videos during the week. You always need to stay up on my doggone updates. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is subscribe. All right. If you enjoy uh, my weekly forecast, and if you get benefit out of it, because you certainly should have gotten some out of last week. Last week was a great week. There was money. There was money to be made last week, and if you took to the Outlook, the forex weekly forecast that I gave out last week, you would have made you should have had some good gains. And I'm thinking that this week is going to be some good gains as well. All right, make sure you drop a like or comment, and in your comments, make sure you give me some feedback. Is this working for you? Are these videos working for you? What can I do to improve them? And especially if you hit something good, man, I'd like to hear about it. That kind of feedback I appreciate. And also if you have a request for a particular market that you want analyzed. Okay. So trade safely for the upcoming week. Check out the one of the two videos on your screen now, and I will see you in the next video.